Kia ora and welcome back to episode 282 of the Stag Roar podcast. We're joined by Abel again, Patrick Abel. He joined us last year to talk about the introduction of the pest-free-token. If you've been spotting on my little mic boom, we have the pest-free-token sticker just there. I've got a few more hanging about in a box full of stuff here. If you'd like one of those, I can flick you out a sticker actually. Pest-free-token, of course, is a way to earn rewards by saving birds. The most environmentally friendly token on the Binance Smart Chain. A unique token moulded by the community, contributing to pest eradication within New Zealand. It's pest eradication that's crypto for charity. You can earn rewards and help the environment. So join the PFT community today at www.pestfreetoken.co.nz and follow along with this awesome work that Pest-Free-Token are doing on their Instagram and Facebook channels. Absolute legends. Of course, you'll find them in the show notes like always. And the podcast is always brought to you by Cane's Deer Velvet. If you or a loved one have some aches and pains setting in or an injury that needs support to heal, consider topping up your body with Cane's Deer Velvet. It's packed full of amazing nutrients that the body uses in maintaining the immune system, bones, joints, circulation and general well-being. Find out more at www.canesdeervelvet.com and use the code STAGRAW252 for an introductory 20% off your order. This podcast, we didn't even get into Patrick's Tarawera expedition. We have to get him back. But I know going on those runs, the joints definitely struggle. Cane's Deer Velvet might be the answer. If you're doing 1,000 burpees, to tell you what the answer is, it's some drink element. Get your hands on a free sample by just paying for the shipping at drinkelement.com/stagroar. You can also do an order through there, as we've said many times. Over $100 US order gets you free international shipping. No worries if you live in the States, you lucky buggers. And Ārepa, the world's smartest brain food, 100% natural, caffeine-free effects you can feel. Use the code STAGRAW at checkout for 20% off, as we were talking about there. The brain month has ended, but that doesn't mean you can't be looking after your brain. I love a little bit of drink Ārepa in the afternoon. I'm a real early bird, and so sometimes those 3 o'clocks or that post work when I've got to drive to pick up my daughter, it's good to have a bit of drink Ārepa, as we said, caffeine free, so it allows you to hit the hay, and that L-theanine, that kind of helps. You'll see me sipping away on a drink Ārepa quite often during the podcast, often because I'm recording those at night. Helps me to stay switched on, but then, as I said, helps me to go to sleep. Beautiful stuff. Right. Episode 282 with Paddy, such a legend. If you're around about in Wellington or catching him out in the hills, make sure you say g'day. Get yourself a rat trap as well from the Pest-Free-Token website and help to contribute to saving birds, getting rid of the critters that damage their nests and eggs, as well as compete for them for foliage and food. Yeah, check it out, pestfreetoken.co.nz. Bit of it going around again, eh?
Yeah, I'm kind of uncertain. I got it only a couple of weeks ago, COVID.
Yeah.
So, but nothing too bad.
You might have long COVID.
Yeah, I did my first ever ultra a week after coming out of COVID. So the whole long COVID thing was floated around a little bit.
What was your ultra?
I did the Tarawera.
Nice.
Yeah. What's this? I've got a kitten in here. It's making a bit of noise.
No, that's all good. We've had real cats come through podcasts before, so
yeah. Can you hear the tinkle in the background?
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a feature. It's good.
Yeah, it's just adding to it.
Yeah. How long have you had it for?
Oh, only a couple of days. My boss runs a charity where she fosters kittens, but she's out of town. So, yeah, my girlfriend was pretty keen that we took that opportunity.
You just got the one. I've had a 3-cat situation before, and yeah,
Yeah.
that was intense. Might have even been 4. We had a bunch of cardboard put around the walls,
Mm.
and I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 hid behind it, and we had the top window open, and there was just a real nightmare for a while of searching around the house, under the house, in the bush, neighbour's house, come back in, and then there's 4 cats again. And you're like, okay, good, crisis averted.
Yeah, I feel my jaw might be on the line for that. It was between it was between the one cat, where she's got 5 newborn kittens at the moment. So I think we'll start that one slowly.
Yeah, go with the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
Well,
we've ended up with a like 13-year-old grey cat who's just chill. He's just doesn't
that's
mind.
the way to go. This one's a wee monster. I was cooking dinner the other night and turned around, and I've got a whole bunch of pot plants in the lounge. Turn around and it's taking a shit in the chili plant. But I didn't know if I should scare it to get rid of it or what, because I thought, if I spook it, it's just gonna put.
Yeah, it's already in a foreign house there, Patty. So oh, mate, yeah,
good fun.
No, the cats are good fun, but how do you sort of feel about cats and birds? There's a challenge for you.
Yeah, it's a conversation we typically at Pest Free Token steer a little bit away from. Controversy, but actually something we always tell people is we're not trying to kill Mr. Mittens. This cat's clearly inside, so but definitely you're right, cats outside are a bit of a problem when it comes to birds, but not to be confused with cats in the middle of the bush, because they're feral cats. They're a totally different ball game.
Yeah, there's been a few on the roadsides of late that have come cropper with a logging truck or something, but they are monsters. And do you have any Black Panthers of the Ruahenis or Taraweras? Because there's plenty of mid-Canterbury Black Panthers around.
Well, I grew up in Canterbury, so I've heard.
Oh yes, you know the stories.
Monsters. I think 12-pound cats. I've seen photos of them from down south. Pretty scary things, eh? They're not Mr. Mittens type. They're fangs, everything.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of damage. Those and stoats, they're pretty much up there as the apex predators in New Zealand when it comes to birds.
Yeah, that's for sure. Your tearkeys wouldn't quite like them. I have noticed around here, like we've got a pretty good kōwhai tree on our place, and a manuka right out in front of me, and I don't have the same number of fantails around. There's the odd tui that goes into the kōwhai when the flowers are out, but I do notice that here. But we do have good bird numbers. We do have we're in a cul-de-sac that is chocker full of cats, so they probably just know what's good for them.
Oh yeah, I think there's kind of like a fine line between pests versus birds as well, because you don't have to get the pest down to 0 for bird life. You just have to kind of get it to that level that it can sustain itself. I've seen neighbours' cats running around here, and sometimes I've got 3-4 native birds in the one tree. So yeah, but they're pretty cool, right? It's awesome having those types of birds around the place. They're just way better than those blackbirds and sparrows. I mean, no diss to those birds, but tuis are pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's the family of swallows that really get me. I'm like, go away, you bastards.
Get out, bring that ruru back.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of the rat boxes in behind you. Have they been going into people's homes, and have people been surprised at their rat population?
Yeah, completely. Actually, I had a lady that I work with. She logged a catch today. I remember selling her a trap a couple months back, and she was like, "Oh, look, I'm doing this to help you out, but I don't really need it." She's more than any other person. I think she's probably up to 7 or 8 catches now, just blown away. You just don't know where those rats and mice are.
Yeah.
We've got some people who keep them inside and then some outside, but they're catching just as many on the inside. Yeah, and even people with cats.
Yeah, no, that was one of Ernie's first missions, was find the rat, and I was like, oh, I don't like the idea that you've killed one rat, because that probably means there's more rats.
Yeah, and cats tend to kind of sit there and play with them, whereas at least these traps, it's over and done with in a split second, so problem solved. But we've got these things coming out of our ears at the moment.
That's awesome.
We just deployed our 107th now, so we hit the 100 mark about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, which is an awesome milestone for us. especially because we're not based in just one area of New Zealand. So our wee map on our website is just littered with them now, top to bottom.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so what program have you used for that? Is that something you've set up within the Pest Free Token website, or?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything more than that because Alex is the IT guru when it comes to our projects, so he makes sure that that's all ticking along nicely. But it's all in through our system, so we're not using another person or another system at all. We've kind of tried to set up everything on our website itself.
And so what's the purchase of a rat trap providing Pest Free Token?
So in terms of the charity,
yep.
So the charity is the one that sells them. It's about $20 for a trap, and we only ask for about $10 worth of shipping. So the shipping's actually more than that. We take a bit of a hit, but we're not out there to make a million bucks. We're just trying to obviously get way more traps out there, which the price point is a huge part for it. And then the profit that we do make obviously just sits straight into the charity and then just gets used to buy more traps. So it's a big cycle. But it's working really well, eh? Like it's generating some good cash for more and more traps, and then all the leftover money we're just distributing to other trap organizations. So we rebaited 3 months worth of trap lines in the Ruahine Ranges. It's 2,700 traps got rebaited. We were able to fund that, and we've stoke protected about 200 meters of river up in Gisborne. Which, dare I say, it's probably looking a little different. Yeah, but we'll be revisiting that and seeing how we can help them set up shop again and get those traps back out along the rivers. So the model works pretty well. It's exciting.
Do you know what they baited with?
The ones in the Ruahine Ranges are baited with, I believe it's rabbit. So they're targeting a lot more stoats in and amongst parts of that, and rabbit is the primary food source of the stoat. Yeah, they absolutely love it.
You were sharing some of the work they were doing, some of the spurs that they were dropping off 250s into, and geez, those people were game and doing the hard yards.
They do, right?
What was that organization that you supported?
They're called Marioho. So they were our first ever partners. Such a critical partner for us because it's actually bridging something which we're trying to do primarily through social media and online to actual a bunch of people out there doing the trapping. I think they employ about 12 people full time, predominantly Maori, and it's an iwi-led type of situation going on there. But they're awesome people, eh? They're just so connected that they're in the know. They're the boots on the ground. We're just trying to fill the buckets full of bait.
Yeah, when I used to go to Awatere at the end of Cashmere Road, which is near Waipokoro, really. Beneath the Longview Hut, they'd just put in a big line of 250s. They had, I don't think they'd even pre-baited them or anything. Like all of them were close, so they're brand new. And then, I went back about 4 weeks later, and they'd just set them. And it was interesting. The first off catch was a lot of hedgehogs to begin with, which was like, all right, so that's that first run, and it was a little bit of a shame that the downfall of the system is that you can't, as a hunter or whatever, get it and clear it, reset it, and log it somewhere. That would be real cool if there could be a way to like QR code the box, and obviously the reception's not great out there, so that'd be tough. But
all of ours are QR coded. We're one of the first to kind of start doing that, and that's what comes up on that map on our website. It crops up with all the catches on it. So ours
is the same as the sticker. Is that the same? Yeah.
We're different. So that QR code on there, which that looks awesome, way better than a bike frame. That one takes you straight to the landing page, straight to the web page. The ones on top of each trap is unique, so that when you scan it, the system knows which trap number it is, and then that lets us know. But you don't need to, if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can still go straight to our website and log it manually. Really, really easy. Just punch in, caught a rat, done. And that data is so necessary for us. So we've tried to make everything as easy as possible, because that's what does it at the end of the day. But pretty cool. But we've been talking to the likes of Predator Free New Zealand and some of the tramping clubs and whatnot. about how to actually make it so that the people who are out there, the hunters, the trampers, imagine you could set up a system where they're actually checking the traps so you can lay them. And I've had a couple of thoughts about this in terms of, say, at the start of a track, where it has the old dock sign and it says what you're doing and where you're going and the book of intentions. Imagine you could just pick up a little bit of bait out of a box there and put it in your backpack. And then each time you see one, you collect a spanner and you can undo it, rebait it, and just let them know at the end. It's such a good resource out there, right? People are already doing it.
Yeah, having been part of the Kiwi group in the Kawakas, it was great going into Makino and just having something to do while I was going along the track and clear, take a photo, and then get back to civilization and log them all on Trap NZ. It was fantastic. And then like being part of the WhatsApp group, and you go into Trap NZ and you look at that trap and you're like, oh man, look how many has been cleared on the last year or whatever, and then the whole loop, and it's so good.
So we're also offering people, there's quite a few people who aren't interested in having a trap in their own backyard, but they still want to kind of help out. So some of our people, they effectively buy and sponsor a trap. So they give us the $20, $30 and we get it deployed somewhere, and we'll just let them know, hey, that's trap number 53. So then they can go look on the website and see how many catches that one gets. So they can kind of follow the progress of the seed that they've sown, which is quite cool.
Nice. Who did you work with around Gisborne?
So that's the Eastern Theo link.
Nice.
I think you've already met Sam, the trap man.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
He's an obvious guy to start with when it comes to networking in that space. I think everyone seems to know him, and he probably knows at least 90% of the people.
Yeah.
So, and such a nice guy, really keen to hear ideas. Obviously, we're pitching a bit of a different concept than most people, but super interested to hear the thoughts on it.
Yeah, and so what was was a part of that Eastern Fair link, or you said it was around Gisborne? Was it something separate?
No, so I think it's along their line. So we effectively just gave them the money that they were going to need necessary to make sure that 200 meters of the river was stoat protected. Which was one of our early philosophies, was apart from putting these traps, which are great in suburbs, we don't want to tell people how to actually do what they do. Sam's out there, he already knows everything. What they need is money. So we're saying to them, how about you just get on doing what you can do, and we'll just try funnel some of our cash towards you. But
do you know what they used
for the bait?
So they were using box traps, or
yeah, I think they're probably set up with Dock 200s there.
Yeah,
these ones aren't Dock 200s. They've got a wee Victor trap in the middle of them. But I mean, when you're around in the suburbs, you don't need a Dock 200. It is overkill.
Yeah,
unless you're catching stoats and really hefty rats. But I've seen these things put away some pretty big rats, almost over half the length of the trap box.
Yeah,
big rat, and these things will just keep going time and time again. You always get surprised.
And the model you've done with the box is more of the run type, isn't it? A long
yeah,
run.
I'll show you if you.
Yeah, go grab it.
Whoa. So yeah, this is a pretty tried and tested type of model. So it's a run along it, and then there's a hole here. So this is where the rat goes in.
Yep.
And then goes along, and then if I and through the back is where you lift the grate, and that's the trap that sits in the middle of it.
Big.
So.
And what's your best bait? Peanut butter?
Peanut butter pretty much works the best, I reckon. We ask people when they trap them to let us know, but surprisingly, some people catch quite a lot on dog roll. A game for it, eh? Cheese doesn't work so well. Cheese, I think, is kind of more like a Tom and Jerry type situation.
Yeah.
You're raised to think that it did the job, but anything, I guess anything fatty, high in protein. Chocolate does pretty well if you came to spare some of that. Same with bacon. I haven't been that game. Not going to share my bacon, but
I think that's, like you're saying, chocolate and peanut butter. I think that's two of the good nature trap mixes that they do.
Chocolate mousse. Actually, if you look at all the scientific studies they do with rats in labs, they're all pretty much done with chocolate.
Right.
So they know that rats just react really, really well to it.
Yeah. There was what are they called? Convation, I think they're called, or Covation
Yeah.
from Auckland. Yeah, they had a stand at the Seeker show, and I got to have a good look through their catalog, and they had a few things on the stand as well. And yeah, it was just nice to meet them in person and be like, hey, I follow you guys, and really interesting what you guys are.
Yeah.
Such a niche space of innovation. Like as a wider company, they're a massive like chemicals company, but they've just got this little narrow niche to do with trapping and predator control. It's quite cool.
So they're coming at things from a similar angle to us in that they're trying to see what technology can do to answer the problem.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're looking at the tech from a funding perspective more, but they're looking at from the traps. So one of the downsides of trapping is the need to keep checking them, which is what you're saying in terms of the trampers and the hunters. So their types of technology are ones that don't require checking that often. I think they've got like 3-6 month checks on them, which for really like back bush or even trying to get farmers engaged, that kind of thing, that low maintenance, ease of entry is the key. That's what we're thinking. Like our slogan is pest eradication made easy, because that's, as I say, really what we think is going to be able to change the game. Getting these things into people's backyards is one thing, but then getting them to keep rebaiting them, check them, log the data, that's where the ease needs to come in.
Yeah. And you got like the counters on the good nature, but then again, back to like, it'd be great to be able to link that somehow.
Yeah, I actually have one of them in my backyard, but I haven't really used it that much. Tend to obviously prefer the own product.
Yeah.
But I should probably have a bit of a crack and see what that Bluetooth situation is set up to do, and how close you need to get to it. But awesome, right? And whatever we're doing now, give it a couple more years. The amount of money that's coming into this from the government, from a technological perspective, is really cool, which means it's just going to drive the innovation. And New Zealand's almost at the forefront of this stuff as well. I see Good Nature with their resetting A24 traps. They're all around the world. A lot of work's been done on the islands to help them with their pest problems. Yeah,
I think Sam and also Jordan from Trap and Trigger, they've done some sort of American and Canadian island projects of pest and ungulate eradication, and taking New Zealand knowledge away and then also bringing back the experience is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a company up north that's experimenting with the trapping in terms of getting signals to let you know when traps have been activated.
Nice.
Which is another cool thing. And something I was wondering at some stage whether the whole blockchain technology could be used in that as well, because with blockchain, there's no fraudulent activity on it. So you could have a true verification of a trigger on a trap box. But
kind of be like, there's the point in time, the whatever it is in the unit entered that code, so
and that's it.
No fraud.
Yeah, though that's a little bit above me. Again, that might be more of an Alex
one.
So we make good partners.
Yeah. How's it all gone? Like I've sort of hodled the last probably 10 months.
Yeah.
And you guys have been holding value quite well. We've had a few ups and downs, but nothing as extreme as the Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the things that have gone to zero in the last year, mate. That must bring you a bit of pride.
That's probably the thing we're most proud about in the crypto space is, other tokens have kind of dropped 70-80%. Some have bounced back. We're pretty much back to square one where we were a couple months ago. So when those other cryptos, including the big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum, when they start to recover, we're just going to be which is exciting. The benefit of our project is that more people have just been buying. That we have almost no people selling. So just like yourself, you're buying in because you're interested about the project, and that's really driving the price up, but also holding it strong. So pretty cool for us to be able to watch that, and not see people jump ship when other things are doing the same.
Do you get any data on sort of the volume of sales? Have there been any big sellouts?
Yeah, you can see all of that data on the blockchain.
Yep.
So, since the start, we've had several large people jump in terms of like thousands of dollars. Quite a few small ones. I think with crypto, people are always keen to throw in $20 for a punt and see what goes. So quite a mix in terms of that, but still trading volume there. We also
every time I go to your website, you've got flags going everywhere, and
we just
see
try and
activity.
operate as transparent as possible. So on our website, you can see all the wallets. You can see even the wallets from that Alex and I have. You can see how many coins have been earned for the charity. Everything like that is just on it, and it all ticks over constantly because crypto obviously works 24/7. So it makes it just a little bit more exciting.
Yeah. And you're at the Binance New Zealand launch?
Yeah, I think it was their first catch up in Wellington, so they've done a couple up and down the country, and we thought it would be silly not to go down and say hi and meet and greet them, which is cool because our t-shirts and logos are pretty similar color to them. So I think people are coming up asking if we were Binance, but I mean it's pretty quick to figure out that that's a stoat and not a Binance token.
Yeah.
But
what was the sentiment? Because I was earning some interest off them for a while there, and then with the Celsius freeze, I decided, not that it's much money, but I'm going to get off this. And they seem to have held out. There's plenty of TikTok commentators that are saying Binance is going to be next. Binance is going to be next. But then then like you say, then you see Binance New Zealand now. So
yeah,
what was the sentiment like?
I think firstly, you can't really believe anything you hear on TikTok.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to take it with a grain of salt. But really, really cool to meet them. They're Kiwi-based people who are fronting it in New Zealand, doing quite a bit of work from what I hear in terms of the regulatory space and really trying to set that, I guess, debunk some myths in terms of what regulators, what the police, what those kind of organizations are starting to think about crypto. Obviously haven't been too privy to all of that, but that was what they've been touching on. Well, I gathered that they'd mentioned it several times in their presentation, so I thought, well, that must be one of the big things for them. And I guess because they're trying to come in and really establish themselves, and that's probably the angle they need to hit the hardest, is figure out what they can and can't be doing. But that's all good for everyone else in New Zealand as well.
What were they sort of touching on with the police? Just transparency of transactions, or that's
I think a lot of it comes from media articles. Someone will put up something about how anything to do with cryptocurrency is a scam, and I mean, look, it is plagued with them and has been, and probably always will be. But there is definitely that association very quickly made for a lot of people. And when you're dealing with the likes of the police, who obviously have their own financial crime and fraud centers and those types of investigations, I think going along and actually explaining to them what it is and what it isn't. I don't think Binance is, from the sounds of it, trying to hide anything. They're trying to say, look, this is what we can provide you. This is how we operate. If you're looking at this kind of stuff, we can help in this area and not. So it sounds like a really good thing to do, and something that's going to happen anyway. I think that's actively front-footing it.
And so Robert Hollis is involved? was he there?
Who was that, sorry?
Robert Hollis?
I met Ben Rose, who's the general manager of Binance New Zealand.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't meet anyone, I think, from that name. Met their marketing manager, Emma Hill, and their new intern. So, yeah, they might not have had the whole gang there.
Yeah, and I don't exactly know Robert's association with it. I just have seen he was promoting the event, and then I saw you guys at it, and I was like, oh,
right.
Wonder if he was there, but whether that's a sort of a promotional role or what, yeah, I haven't quite looked into it.
Not fully certain. We stopped and had a chat to them after their presentation and explained a bit about what we're doing, because Binance has recently started getting into the charitable space in terms of making donations. I think they've made quite a large donation in terms of the Auckland flooding. So we came along and we're like, hey, that's awesome. Obviously, we're an organization that runs on the Binance Smart Chain as well, and we're looking to try and use crypto for charity. Here's what we are, and they're really keen to learn more about us, and they're going to get us on a AMA podcast type thing. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that goes. We're just keen to hear a bit more about them, what they're doing.
You just reminded me, there's the Binance Smart Chain and the Binance Coin. Is that correct?
So yeah, so BNB is the Binance token that
Yeah.
runs on the Binance ecosystem, which is called the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like with the Ethereum coin runs on the Ether network. You've got those kind of things you're mentioning about FTX. FTX is like kind of like an exchange, and it has its own token, FTT. So we're a token. We don't have our own entire ecosystem. That's not something that we're aiming to really go for, not at this stage.
Yeah, and so well, if we can go through the steps of purchasing, because I think I stuffed that up. I think I bought the wrong thing initially.
Did you buy BNB or something?
I think I bought BNB first off.
Yeah, you have to do that for our one. So if our token was on an exchange, you can effectively give New Zealand dollars or other coins and just pick ours up. But because ours doesn't sit on an exchange, it sits in this liquidity pool in the sky called Pancake Swap.
Oh, so there's BNB Beacon Chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the BNB Smart Chain, which you use to exchange for.
So,
right.
Yeah. So it runs on the coding level, it runs on the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain network. Yep. So that's kind of like the highway that it runs along.
Yeah.
BNB token, the coin token type thing, that's like another car that's running on that highway. Yep. So we've come along and created pestfreetoken, PFT, which is another car running on it. So in order to get our token, you have to swap it for another one. So we've said you've got to swap it for the BNB, the Binance one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't follow the instructions closely enough.
To be honest, it's something we've been exploring as well. Crypto, especially for people who are very new to it, it's like a whole nother language, right?
Yes.
You know, what's blockchain? What's a chain? What's a coin versus token? It's just totally foreign. I went through the same thing when I started. Pancake Swap, they come up with the most ridiculous names. It's obvious that, like, you know, maybe a 13-year-old on the internet named, I think one of the charts that follows our price is called Poo Coin. Like, if you ever wanted to start a professional thing, you probably wouldn't start with Poo Coin. So some of the things we've been trying to work on is really trying to make it as easy as possible. We've broken ours down into 3 effective steps to get in to buy our token. But it takes a bit of work to kind of set up the wallet, go through the AML, KYC, like all that legal kind of stuff with the wallet, which isn't ours, but that exists over there. It's kind of to get your entry into the crypto sphere. It takes a bit of time, but once you're in, now that you've purchased and you've gone through that process, you should be able to buy pest-free tokens pretty quickly now.
Can I take that Trust wallet and put it into a different wallet? Can you take it off chain?
So when it's in the Trust wallet, it's basically sitting, and I believe it's sitting on chain. So it's sitting off chain, sorry. So you can transfer it from your Trust wallet out. So you could pop it in another wallet if you wanted to. You would just need to make sure that that wallet accepts BSC tokens, like that type of highway would need to be able to run on it. They don't all do that. Yeah.
No, that we've just gone deep into the weeds and we might have lost some people.
I think so, right? It is like, as I say, on our website, so www.pestfreetoken.co.nz, there's a page called Trade, and we've tried to explain at a really high level what steps are, but there's also links in there, and if you go into it, it'll go from like down to the methodical step. If that's what you need help with, click this button, type that, all of that kind of stuff's in there as well. But we help so many people along with it as well. We're pretty accessible.
You know, I'll reiterate that the instructions are very, very good, and having bought stuff elsewhere, I think I like I said, I had Binance already. I'd been using Easy Crypto, and then just to use it a little bit of a slightly different sphere, I made some assumptions, and I was like, oh damn, that was wrong.
Yeah, so you can go through Easy Crypto for some things. Not quite our token yet.
Yeah,
we're trying to work on doing that. But you could buy that BNB token through Easy Crypto and then swap that. So,
and that's where I think I stuffed up. I like I said, bought that other one, and so then I had to change it to the BNB Smart Chain, and then I was away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, we could definitely do more in that space as well, and it'll be cool to get some kind of animations or walk through with people a bit more on that. But to say, most people who get a bit stuck just reach out, and we just walk them straight through it if we can. I think I was shopping at the time when you were doing yours. So
Yeah, no, it was great.
in the supermarket aisle. Buy baked beans. Oh, I mean, B&B.
Yeah. So being a token, and the whole FTX stuff blowing up, did you field many inquiries?
About our token or about FTX?
Well, but both, and like, oh, these guys tokens based on
Yeah.
and apparently nothing, and it's funneling away everyone's funds. like
I think
you
it's
said,
kind of
like you said
where-
in our first podcast, you guys have done absolutely everything you possibly can to like show, hey, this is what it is.
yeah. I think that's where we kind of differentiate ourselves from a lot of things. So with FTX, it's an exchange. So even though your wallet might say you hold Bitcoin, you don't. They hold the Bitcoin, and they're just making it show up on your wallet, just like Sharesies. It's custodial. Sharesies owns all the shares that you buy through it. They've just ring fenced them inside their computer system and said that those are Ryan's, so it'll come up on your app. So just like Sharesies is run in their own system, if you wanted them yourself, you would go buy the shares directly through the NZX, through like a stock broker, and then those stocks and shares would be in your name. So we're so you've got FTX over here, like Sharesies, and then we are out here where you would buy our pest-free tokens, and they are in your wallet, no one else's. We can't touch them. We have nothing to do with them. We just created them. So those are sitting on yours. So if FTX collapses, you've still got your pest-free tokens.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
Yeah.
Good summary. Yeah, asked you if you had listened to that CoffeeZilla with Joe Rogan. Have you done that yet?
No, I didn't get a chance to do that. I've been pretty flat tack the last couple of weeks, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting, like from what a little bit I know about it, in terms of, I think a lot of it comes down to that line between fraud, not enough information. People who are getting into the game need to have as much information as possible. And that's kind of, as I say, what sets us apart. We try our best to do that. We've set up that company constitution, which has those clauses in it that just can't be undone. They're entrenched. So we can't do anything else with whatever's in the system. We've got the charity, we've got all of those protections in place, which a lot of these other companies just did not have.
Yeah, he brought up the sort of Logan Paul project, and it was kind of interesting listening to him say that they tried to build it type thing, and like you hear people in like venture capital talk about like the burn rate on some of these projects is just ridiculous. And then so you do wonder how much of that is with what's happened to Logan Paul. He's got all this money. They've tried to implement it and gone, oh shit, we don't have enough money anymore. And we're stuck in no man's land. Like, do we do another raise? Like, do I sell a bunch more Prime and keep chucking it over into this crypto project?
Yeah, exactly. It is. I mean, I think a lot of the time people go in for hard and fast, quick ups. They're not laying that groundwork, which Alex and I took almost a year to get in place. The liquidity is always an issue, not having enough for things. But for us, we're not controlling the whole system like a lot of these other companies and projects are doing. We're collecting a little drip off the transaction fee of it. So normally, like when crypto tokens are traded from one person to another, there's fees and everything, right? It's a part of life. That fee normally goes to the developers, the founders, all of that kind of stuff, lines people's pockets. We're just saying, rather than that fee go to us, we're going to make it go towards pest eradication. We're not doing this to make that money. We're not doing it for any other purpose. We just want to get less rats out there. But again, because crypto's hard to comprehend sometimes, very new to people, it's hard to kind of illustrate the differences that our project is from a lot of these other ones.
No, it's really cool. And you brought up CoffeeZilla at Exposed, some type of charity token or something?
Yeah, I think they there was one called the Heart Coin or something like that. Anyway, what they've done is effectively tried to start this project and generate money for kids' cancer or something like that. Obviously a worthy cause, but they didn't have any of those protections in the background. I don't know their intentions or whatever, but it ended up being a rug pull. It ended up being people put in all this money thinking they were going to cure cancer, and then these people just pulled it all. And I think this guy was the one who kind of found a lot of that, had gone through everything with a fine-tooth comb and started unpicking it.
Yeah, no, I heard him talk on Lex Freeman about middle of last year, and he got more into his like origin story about looking at sort of being at university and having lots of mates going to MLM and sort of looking at the structure of it and going, so who actually is making money here?
Yeah.
And so that was the sort of origin of looking at structured scams and like so as the world's gone on, unfortunately these projects have done what they've done. Yeah, I was a bit gutted. There was a guy doing the thing called the Sherwood Project. He was going to try and make a film via NFT, and he was going to make the film about it, the NFT ecosystem. But again, he was on TikTok. He sort of has gone quiet. So with it, hopefully he's away working on it and collecting data and
it's hard to know, right? But the thing is you get this kind of issue not just in crypto. It's not an isolated system. You get this in all walks of life, right? People crop up on Give a Little and then end up in the courts, and people are always out to make a quick buck.
Yeah,
and it's pretty
even your Facebook marketplace.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, we have every so often like a whole new Facebook group starts up with our logo and name and tags half a dozen people and says you won free Bitcoin, which if you listen to this, if anyone ever says you win free Bitcoin, that's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
Nothing's that free. But people do fall for it, right? You hit 1,000 people, you only need a couple to fall for it.
It was even funny the other week we bought firewood. and it was like, is the firewood there yet? Because I think that the Topo page had a bit of a firewood scam last year. So I was like, firewood scam is real.
That's a whole new low A coming into winter.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, we've got some firewood. Transfer your money. Oh, where's my firewood?
I mean, classic cell phone purchases, all that kind of stuff on Marketplace. If you don't believe it until you see it sometimes. Which again, the beauty about crypto is everything's online. It's all on the blockchain. So you can go and read the code. If you don't understand that, you can click on all the different wallets that we've put on the website and you can follow everything. So you don't have to believe us, which is a really cool aspect of what this kind of technology does offer. It's effectively open accounting.
Yeah, no, it's I think Alex, you're back. Sorry, Patrick. I did this last time. Gosh, Patrick. I think what you and Alex have done is just really good, in your backgrounds and like your ethos about what you're trying to achieve is just really awesome, and it's cool to be able to catch up again a year later and just like look at what you guys have done. Like you said, contributed funds to 2 really well-run projects already, and your little traps that are making a difference in a scattered around the country is just testament to what you've set up. It's really cool.
I think that's the cool thing about having that practical element to the project, is you can actually see things are happening from it. And by being there after, I mean, I think it's been almost a year now. I think it's 2-3 weeks time when we hit our 1 year anniversary. you can see we still spend every waking moment working on this. We're out meeting people, doing all that kind of stuff. So that NFT project that you're talking about, he might still be working on it or not, but he's not seen to be doing that. Whereas we're out there all the time doing this. So you can, hopefully people are starting to look at our project and think, actually, these guys are still seeing them crop up every bloody 2 days on Facebook. Maybe they are actually doing what they're saying they're doing. Nothing's as good at evidence as the pudding, right?
Yeah, I even find that with this podcast. I've been doing it for 5 years, and people are like, "Oh, you're still actually doing that?" Because it is, again, we're talking about like this sort of behavior crops happen everywhere. There are millions and millions of podcasts that are 1 and 3 episodes long, and
yeah.
Wolf Lemming did a post the other day about what it takes to be in the top 1%, and that was to reach 20 episodes. Like,
right. Yeah, but you love what you do, right? And
exactly.
And so do we. So this isn't a chore. This, I think that's one of the cool things about the fact that we don't get paid from this. We're not doing it as a wage. Like, I work 9 to 5. Well, I mean, 9 to 5 is a nice day, but you know what I mean? And so do you. You have a job, so you're not doing this to kind of clip the ticket or do that. You're doing it out of sheer enjoyment, which means you actually drive it harder.
Yeah, no, I was joking with Paul Michaels on his podcast the other week. I said, I'd lost my tax, not by much, but I lost my tax.
What, you got to write off on that new microphone?
Yeah, well, it's only been set up this year, so all of my this year it's lowering my tax. Next year I might not be so lucky.
Next, you're going to tell me that plant behind you is a business expense.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I should get the roller out on this room now. Yeah. I think it took about 5% of my time to run this podcast. I was just like, oh yeah, good.
I mean, that's fair enough. I think for me, we've put thousands of hours into this so far. But hopefully it just keeps trucking along nicely. We're still getting traps out pretty often. Got an order for 10 the other day. Some farm wants to set it up because we've hit that price point where our traps alone, even if you're not interested in the crypto, our traps are pretty much cheaper than anyone else is offering them because we don't have any labor costs in it.
Nice. Are you sending them flat packed or already made into the tunnel?
We make them fully like that.
Yep.
So they just end up on your doorstep and they're ready to go. You just pull it out, done.
Set the trap. Put on some peanut butter or chocolate if you're
you
really
got to supply your own peanut butter. We're not quite at that stage, but everything else is super. Just it's made really, really easy. We are looking at trying to get into the flat pack game potentially.
Yeah.
For some people, maybe in-store purchases. We have done a couple of Bunnings days where we go and we do these trap building days. We've actually got one on the 30th of this month out of Petone Bunnings. But basically you come along and then we'll give you all the materials, give you the hammer, supervise you, give you a hand, but you basically put the whole thing together and you can walk away with it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Geez, what was I going to say there? No, it's gone. I was thinking of the Goodwood guys up there in Hawke's Bay as well. Do a mean trap.
They do a lot of stuff for the Dot 200s and a lot of trapping projects. We haven't kind of tried to get in on that side of things because we know that those organizations do so much already for trap organizations. So if we go and take a supplier or use those kind of stuff that's already going to trap projects, we're not actually furthering pest eradication. We're just moving it from one plate to another. So this is where we're trying to add more value. Those guys do an awesome job.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant, Patrick. I did remember what it was. Fix and Fog are based in Wellington, right?
I think they probably are.
Yeah.
We should reach out at some point. My girlfriend, she eats a jar of peanut butter a week. I think
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had an Aussie guy on whose product is optimizing nutrition, and we were just laughing about how, because he went to Queenstown and he stumbled across Pig's peanut butter, and we just had this conversation there, like, let's be honest, it just tastes good. And then I saw a video the other day of a personal trainer be like, people think that peanut butter is high in protein. It's like, there is some protein in it, but I think it's just some dick who wanted to say that peanut butter is good for you. An excuse to eat peanut butter by the spoonful, like I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she gyms like 6 days a week, and peanut butter is her one thing. So I think that's fair enough. But I have a massive a rosemary bush out the back here.
Yep.
My landlord was threatening to cut it down, so I thought, well, we can't have that. So I stripped half of the thing and put it into all of these peanut butter jars, which I've saved every single one of them, because I feel like I have to reuse everything that I pretty much have. So I turned up at work with dozens and dozens of jars for a whole year worth of peanut butter eating, and they thought they were going to sit me down and have a bit of an intervention.
One about your jars, and two about why do you have so much rosemary?
yeah, free rosemary always goes well.
But that was one of the things out of the Melbourne lockdowns was there was that guy in Australia, I think his name was like Fuck Jar Sauce, and there was one of his things. It's like, you don't need to buy rosemary. It's like literally here on this boulevard, and all this sort of stuff. Just like all the places to find rosemary. I'm like that with fruit trees. In Taupo, I've managed to find a peach tree, and at the moment there's blackberries everywhere. And someone I know down in Glenorchy, Chanel, she's even gone one better. She's done a foraging course, and she had some bloody good mushrooms today. I was like, oh, like not just your classic field ones. She had these big brown things. I was like,
you have to take a course before doing that one, right?
Yeah, that was what she was getting at. Dude.
Yeah, you soon know about that one.
I think it's Petty Yearlings or something like that. He's based out of Christchurch or Akaroa, and he even goes into things like lichens and kelp and just all the stuff. And like, I think he supplies a whole bunch of Christchurch restaurants just from produce he gets off Banks Peninsula. He's an amazing forager. And he runs really good courses, so you can go out and pick the right mushrooms, because
I mean, it's free. It's just sitting right there, right? And it's just going to go off. We have a whole bunch of berry bushes around the property as well. And every so often people from the street come on up and pick a bunch of them. You just can't eat all of those berries.
No. Whereas our peach tree this year, it was shocking. It got blown away in like December, and then I think I managed to pick one peach that had just landed in my garden and got another one off the tree, and then there was one more, and I said to my stepdaughter, we need to check that every day. We didn't check it. And then I was like on there on Saturday, I was like, damn, no more peach.
Was the one you got, was it a good peach?
They were good. But thankfully I found this other one in Taupo, so we've made up for it.
Good pitch someone else's.
It's just by a park. It's good.
Reminds me, I bought like a capsicum from the supermarket and dried the seeds and planted them, and got this one that was going pretty strong. I was pretty proud about it, watching it all the time. And then it sat on the windowsill with this one capsicum about the size of an old 50-cent piece. And it sat like that for months. And I watched it. I was like, it's going to take off. Just trust me. And it didn't. So I had to end up eating it. But you just inhale it.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at that side of things.
I've got an avocado tree that I did from a pip. So I think it needs a friend. I've got.
Oh, bro, I have one as well, and mine definitely needs a friend as well.
I've got
set this play date up.
Yeah. We could take our paintbrushes. Yeah. I've got one more stone out of, I think, the 9 that I started with. I've got one more stone that's got to shoot, but it just has been stagnant. I think we're about to get winter, and I think so. I think I might have lost that battle on that one, but. Yeah, maybe I'll have one and buy one, and then I'll be able to get fruit. And then there's the rumor that the old stones that you get out of the avocados don't fruit anyway. So it's like avocado trees have got to come from somewhere, right?
And it takes like 30 years or something. Maybe. I went to a friend's house in Auckland, and she had her avocado tree at her flat was higher than the 2-story house.
Wow,
and it's massive. I don't know if you've ever Googled like a fully grown one.
Yeah, no, there's.
But the trunk is
near my produce spot in Havelock. There's one that's on someone's property though, so you're not allowed to take the avocado.
Well, they had too many. They were just like all over the ground, everything, and really big ones. So that was one of. I took a bunch home. Looked pretty funny going through the scanner at the airport. But we got it there. I one time took a frozen chook through the scanner at the airport. So I think avocados were a bit better.
Mate. I think what we're getting at there is there's a great, wide, and wonderful world out there if you just sort of step out your doorstep.
You just do
it. as we chat on the internet, but that's the dichotomy of this life.
Yeah.
Mate, so like where are people? It's still the same, isn't it? Instagram, you guys are very active. It's awesome. Cheers for tagging me and all that stuff. It's awesome to be able to
cheers for sharing all of that
just
stuff.
click, share to story. That makes it really easy.
Yeah, we make it easy.
Yeah, and your website, like you said, there's so much information and things there. Pest free token written out, isn't it?
Yeah, pestfreetoken.co.nz. But if people have any tips and tricks on things to do with it, we've designed the website for people to be able to use. So if there's anything that people want to know, super happy to hear from that. And then, yeah, social media, we're across probably too many of them to keep up with. We might have cast the net a bit too wide. I tried to keep going on the TikToks, but they get a bit harder. But definitely Facebook. All of our handles are all just at pestfreetoken, apart from Facebook, which is pestfreetoken.nz, because some scammer got pestfreetoken before us.
They're fast. You got to catch them.
They are, eh?
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't want to hear about it.
Yeah. It's a bit like you say when you do a promotion and all of a sudden you get all these vacant accounts adding you as friends, and then they're impersonating somebody, and you go to type your friend in, and then just like, who are you talking about? You're like,
yeah. If they've only got 2 or 3 friends, you just no. We're all getting we're all getting better at identifying scammers for sure, but then it's not going to take long for them to catch up.
Yeah. Mate, last year you left us with a really awesome perspective when it came to law. Like, what's the problem? What are we looking at here? What have you sort of learned over the last year when it comes to the token and the crypto space, man? Because it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah, I should have prepped this answer because I should have known you would have asked something clearly like this. I guess probably one of the best things I've learned from doing this project over the last year is, so we started with 4 values, and then that just drives everything we do. So any type of situation you get into, you just come back to core, you go straight back to basics, and then it kind of just helps really keep you focused on what you're trying to achieve there. Are we trying to do something to better the community? Are we doing something for integrity? Those kind of things, they underpin and drive all of our decision making. So that would pretty much what I've been aiming for. I guess you could apply that to life as well. If you had your core set of values, whatever situation you're faced with, whether it's turning left or right, just ask yourself those questions, and it won't answer everything, but you'll be surprised how much clarity it gives you.
Mate, this podcast is so weird. I get like runs of things.
Yeah.
On the weekend, Nicole and I like addressed like common values, and then I interviewed my mate on Monday. I said, "What are your values, mate?" So now you've just gone out and said it. So,
but start looking at the commonalities between those types of people. What are they doing? What are they achieving? And then maybe there's a bit of sense behind it.
Yeah, awesome. Patrick, not Alex. Alex is your partner.
It only took him a year.
And then I had that little slip up again. Oh gosh,
no.
It's good. Thank you so much, and keep doing awesome stuff. Keep tagging us. It's an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we grab a few more people to follow along on the journey and set some traps.
Cheers, man! And next time I'm in Taupo, I'll come say hi.
Absolutely, bro. Same if I. Yeah. No, bring the chicken.